Well, I'll give you two examples.
Lagos. Is it Lagos?
No, I don't. It's national. The agri sector has been transformed tremendously across the nation. That is for the poor. In my own hometown, that last weekend, I had tractors that were donated by government to help ginger farmers in my own local government, Java local government in Kaduna State. That is to show you the extent to which the federal government, the PDP, is ready to help the masses. The mass population of Nigerians are farmers, isn't it? Now education, isn't it? We don't have to talk about the Almajiri education across the globe. Nigeria has now found 37 federal universities, which was not there before. And the PDP manifesto seeks to wipe out illiteracy, and education is a prime thing. Okay. And what I mean by this is that we want to ensure that every Nigerian child becomes educated, maybe by 2019.
The PDP believes in working from the federal down to the state, and APC believes in working from the state out. Is that the situation?
We've not been opportune to be at the federal.
Okay.
But if you see what we do in the state, you can imagine what we can do in the federal. Okay, and we are seeing what they are doing in the federal already.
Dr.
So you can compare.
You can weigh in on this. The things they've laid out about the downtrodden.
Well,
is that true?
All the political parties in Nigeria exploits the poor and the downtrodden. All of them claim to be working for the people, whereas they are working for their pockets, their friends, and their cronies. Whether it is APC or the PDP, let us face the fact. If you say you are in solidarity with the people, when there's a policy that is going to affect the downtrodden, that is the word that is common to the two gentlemen here, downtrodden. If any government policy is going to affect, the downtrodden, there must be alternatives. And I give one example. There is the need to clear Oshodi in Lagos. What is the alternative for the people in Oshodi? These are critical questions that people in APC should ask, and in all APC states, not only in Lagos. And we should run action government, action institution, not action governors or action individuals.
There are two things they talked about. He talked about education, which the APC,
I am coming to
which the PDP also waiting.
When you say you are working for the people, that is the catchword for me. You are working for the people. Schools. He talked about secondary schools. Yes, we can concede that some strides, giant strides, are being made, in education in some APC states. I don't want to be specific, and in some PDP states. I mean, Akwa Ibom, you can name it. There are some, a few PDP states. Even Amechi, before he jumped boat to the APC, was doing well in education. So the point I'm making is that we must make that distinction between an action individual and an action institution, the state. And then when you just talk about creating federal universities, I don't want to go into all these arguments. Creating federal universities and all that, for me, is begging the issue. The universities that are in Nigeria, I teach in a university. The decay there is colossal. Yeah. And then you leave that unaddressed. You are now, for political reasons, establishing new universities, putting money into these universities and all that. And I can tell you that several years after the takeoff, these universities are still operating from, and all that. So my contention is that if we say we are working for the people, we must get some basics right. The first is that, what is the social relation? What is the means of production? The commanding heights of the economy today is still controlled by the noble rich. True. And the so-called privatization that is putting our common wealth, the people's wealth, in the hands of a select few. The middle class, where is the middle class in Nigeria? So these are critical questions that we must address. And look, I don't have a problem if a political party says that, look, our party is pro the rich. Okay,
Dr. Ashu, let me hold you. Let's go back. Let's look at the middle class. Please. You said your focus is the middle class.
Yes, I can give a very...
Middle class. How has the middle class fared?
I want to give you a typical example. Take the petroleum industry. Take the Nigerian content build. The PDP government has helped to bring in about $500 billion, which hitherto was being given out. With the work of the petroleum minister and the president, all those things, both the down and the upstream, and we are now having it in Nigeria. And it is an opportunity for the middle class and everybody to get into that. And when you say that the economic commanding height is with the rich, that is not correct. The commanding height on the economy is in agriculture. And we are recognizing agriculture and making empowering people at all levels, whether they're a large-scale farmer or a small-scale farmer.
Dr. Dogo, thank you.
You have touched a raw nerve there by bringing that in. Because the
I'm ready to touch any part.
The petroleum industry
bill, the petroleum industry
is still in limbo.
I say the Nigerian content bill.
Okay, all right, hold on. Gentlemen,
differentiate between the petroleum industry bill and the Nigerian content.
That's why we don't have any working refineries. Is that why we are not? $20 billion was missing from your ministry.
Otumba, now this question is for you. Your party's mantra has been the word change.
That's right.
Good. What kind of change are you referring to when you say change?
Very good. Thank you very much. The state at which we are today is a state of perfect, total decay. That if nothing happens as I speak now, Nigeria will go for the trenches. Totally destroyed by some people who do not actually understand the problem and how to solve the problem. I give you a very good instance. This insurgency, this insecurity we keep talking about, did not start yesterday. Did not start last year. Let us even imagine it didn't start during the current president's time. Mr. President inherited Boko Haram. What substantial effort has he made? Up until last year, that 290-something girls were abducted in a country that has a leadership, a proper leadership, and nothing has happened. Up as I speak, it took Mr. President 21 days to be able to even understand what has happened and to say anything. You see, these are the problems. With the lack of understanding of the problem. Today they say insurgency. Tomorrow they say terrorism. They must understand. Mr. President says stealing. Some of those corrupt things they say is stealing. So Mr. President does not probably understand that stealing is worse, is bad. So if we do not understand the problem, we really cannot solve the problem. The change at this point in time is the fact that we need to move away from where we are. Else, our children will have no place called Nigeria. And that is the fear of some of us that are... Look, I was here, Alero, in some 5 years ago during Yaradua's time. That was the last time when we were fighting tooth and nail through the Save Nigerian group to put this Mr. President in power. You remember very well. Yes. I was gallivanting TV station shouting, saying, look, it is his right. Put him there. He's been put there. Let anybody tell me if he is happy. The man on the street is crying. There is no significant difference. So the change is we need to move away from this idea, from this clueless circumstance.
Change. The question was, how do you want to bring change?
It's very simple. This government, for instance, does not have a plan for corruption. As a matter of fact,
how do you want to bring change?
We will tackle corruption by giving example, by leadership example. I will give you one very good example. Every ex-president and ex-president of Nigeria earns 23 million naira a month, a year. Only General Buhari wrote to the Ministry of Finance and said, look, don't give me this money. I am okay with only 2.3 million. That's what the man earns. A year. As we speak. Find out the fact. That is leadership discipline. That is different from a man who says, what Jim Bobodo stole is probably not enough to buy a Pojo, and they gave him a 300-year imprisonment. This is different from a man who says, I will not put them in prison. Since we have been killing armed robbers, has armed robbery reduced? Attitude. We have to have a good understanding.
So that's how you want to fight corruption?
Why they are busy trying to say they will build a system that will not be corruptible? They want to use corrupt people to build an incorruptible system. Does that make any logic? We are saying we will effect proper reprimands to serve as deterrent to those who are corrupt. Without
that's on corruption.
We cannot move forward.
So corruption. Can we have
you see, in management, you say if you have a vision, you must have a vision, a mission before you have a destination, isn't it? And in that, we are simply saying that, look, if you are talking of change, your manifesto should have been different from that of the PDP to give you the ideals that show that you are different. But if you do a simple copyright of what the PDP has put ahead, then how do you change what you...
Hello, Doctor.
I didn't talk when you were talking.
Okay.
When you cannot even change your manifesto, how can you change a system? Now, too, when you are talking of corruption, isn't it? Now, look, if the person is incorruptible, is he surrounded by clean, righteous people? You can take the statistics of those that are...
Start from the head.
Please. You can take the statistics of those around the righteous man. Are they righteous? Can you, they say birds of the same feather flock together, isn't it? Prove that you are righteous. Is there any form of originality in anything of the APC? Look at it critically. In every aspect of what the APC stands for, as he has rightly pointed out, there is no originality. In fact, those who have left the PDP, if you have been in the PDP as a governor for 8 years, as a senator, and you suddenly leave, you have now become a born-again righteous man, and you are now clean. And therefore, you can lead Nigeria aright. So we are talking of management.
What are you doing? No, what are you doing for Nigeria?
That is what
That's what he said. Yes. So let's talk about what you're doing for
Nigeria.
No, Dr. Dogo.
Please. No. See, when he talks, I don't talk.
Okay.
So when I'm talking, he shouldn't talk.
Thank you. What are you doing for Nigeria?
What we are doing for Nigeria at present is to set the path of growth at every aspect of the Nigerian economy. As it is already in this manifesto,